Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Finally, we're going to wrap up with a look at something that Samsung announced when it announced the Galaxy Note 4, which I think many agree is, if not the best smartphone of 2014, certainly one of two or three best smartphones of 2014. The stylus, the heart rate monitor, removable back means removable battery, SD card support, easily the best camera in the Android space, just a remarkably good camera, 16-megapixel camera, and a fabulous screen, probably the best screen on the market today. Well, at the same time as they announced the standard Galaxy Note 4, they announced the Galaxy Note Edge, which was a Note 4, essentially, slightly smaller screen, same number of pixels on the screen, but with the addition of a 160-pixel side screen. I'm going to show you on the close-up camera so you can see. Now, I've got a screensaver on the side screen, which is a bubble, like a little bubble machine, and you can program those. But let me swipe to show you the kinds of things you can do with this side screen. So notifications will show up here. You don't have much control over which notifications will show up. You could put some special apps in there, and look, it even has an app folder, which I can slide out. So when I tap the app from the Edge screen, it just launches the app in the normal way. So it's really like an app launcher screen. But that's not all this can do. You can have, there are 9 panels built in, and you can download more from the Samsung stores. These are called panels. There are other panels. Here's a weather panel. You can see, here's my, this is kind of like a Flipboard app that Samsung makes available, and I have sports scores on there right now, but you can see I could launch other things from there. And it scrolls by as a ticker. This is a game called Memory Match. So there's a lot of stuff you can do on here. It also comes with some specialized apps designed specifically for the Edge. But this is where I started to run into trouble. Let me go back here. It's when correct me if I'm wrong, because you were watching this Samsung event with me.
Yes.
Did they not say that the point of the Edge is you could be at a board meeting and you could have your phone sitting on the table and you'd read the Edge, right?
Right.
Well, let's say, okay, I want to record that board meeting, so I tap the recording. Wait, it's upside down, and this is so strange to me. I don't understand why the orientation is this way. Now they say, and so I've been looking. They say, well, we have a left-handed mode. Oh, that's good news. I can turn on the left-handed mode. That's because if you hold this in your right hand, I guess the Edge makes more sense. But if you hold it in your, I don't understand. The left-handed mode is to turn this upside down, and then the Edge is on the other side. But the problem with that is now everything's reoriented. The home button's upside down, and your Samsung is upside down, and that doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I feel like they had an idea here. Look at this, is really useful. A ruler, a 4-inch ruler. But for some reason, it's all upside down. I'm not sure I really understand why that is.
The other thing that was weird about this when they made the announcement is that they said there was an SDK just for the sidebar.
Yeah, I haven't seen a third party yet, but I presume there will be. Right now, there are a few additional apps in the Samsung store. So if you look, by the way, the review is simple on this because it's in every way the same as a Galaxy Note 4. Same processor, same screen, slightly smaller, but the same specs. In all respects, same camera. There is a little bit of a difference here. Of course, the metal band that goes all the way around the Galaxy Note 4, it does not, obviously, cannot go all the way around. So you have this kind of screen, which actually doesn't feel weird in the hand. They're pretty good at, by the way, at stray button presses, rejection of stray signals. You see, I'm not actually pressing any buttons, even though I am holding it, and my finger is on that icon. They kind of know what's going on. I think this is really interesting, and I kind of applaud, as I did at the time, Samsung for doing something different. This Edge screen is 160 pixels, so it's not a huge high-res screen. There are some specific settings for it. You can manage which panels show up, and you can turn them on or off. You can, as I mentioned, you can rotate it 180 degrees. That's the left-hand mode. I'll turn that off now that we've seen it. I've put a personal message in there that, you know, I say hands off Leo's Galaxy Note Edge. But the only problem with that is it's really tiny. I don't think anybody's going to see it. The night clock might be the most interesting thing. Let's turn on the night clock here. I'll switch this to our actual time and turn it on. And maybe I'll have to... oh, that's another thing that's changed. Because there's no place for the side button, you have to put the button in the iPhone position on the top. I guess we're not going to be able to see the, you can kind of see it. It's just very dim. If the room were dark, you would see that there's a little clock. Can you see that at all? It's so dark. I can see it, but yeah, sure. Turn out all the lights. That'll help. It says it's 4:13 p.m. You can't see it, can you? I can see it. 52 degrees, sunny, 4:13 p.m., December 30th. Actually, you want it to be that dim because you don't want it to keep you awake.
Right.
And what's interesting, this is oriented properly. This is facing me. Everything else faces that way. I don't understand why. And of course, in order for this to work, you have to put it on your nightside table just right with the power adapter just right and all that. So think of this as a Galaxy Note 4 with an interesting feature, a bendy screen that goes around the side, 160 pixels. Not yet any special stuff on here, but presumably there will be. And there's a fairly complete, you can see this is a Sprint phone, so there's the Sprint zone. There's some Sprint stuff on here. There's the standard stuff, the camera. This also, actually, I should show you the camera, because the camera controls are on the edge screen as well, which really isn't the ideal place. There's really no good way to hold that. So I'm not crazy about that. But that's an interesting use for that, to use this for controls so that the camera screen is completely free. Gosh, I don't, pros and cons. Well, the Pro is unique, it's different, and in some use cases, like the night clock, it makes a lot of sense. And it's an eye catcher. It's the kind of thing you bring this to work or school. People are going to say, "Wow, what is that? That's kind of cool." I like how it looks. I really do. I think it's very space age looking. The con is it's not particularly functional, and I don't know. It just bugs me that it feels like when I press this record function, the record button should be facing this way, shouldn't it? Am I wrong?
No.
I can read it upside down, so I can record, and that's great. I mean, you're sitting in a meeting, and your phone is just sitting there. But it just feels like it's odd that I don't understand that choice.
Yeah.
I guess I have to give that a con. The other con is it's $120 more than a Galaxy Note 4. You're paying a lot of money for this little bitty. That's almost $1 a pixel. So try, buy, don't buy. I think unless you look at this and you go, oh, gotta have it, it's a don't buy. Some of you will say, I am willing to, be a little different, to have something new and exciting and different. I am willing to put up with some of the negatives on here. But most of us, the Galaxy Note 4 is such a great phone. I just feel like for most of us, for $120 less, you're actually getting something that's a little bit more usable. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Galaxy Note Edge from Samsung. It's a do not buy unless you're one of those people who just says, I have to have the neatest, coolest, only one in the whole building who has it phone. And you will attract attention as you walk down the hall.
That's me. That's why I would buy it.
It's sexy.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just feel like I'll be fair, I haven't used it for weeks and weeks, so I haven't used it long enough to know if I would maybe get used to it. It does feel a little weird to be holding the phone in such a way that your hand, no matter how you hold it, is on the screen.
Yeah.
I just got it feels like I shouldn't. Anyway, there it is. I was very interested to see it, so I'm glad I got to try it. The Galaxy Note Edge, $429.99 with contract on Sprint, $840. $840.
That's like iPhone territory.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it's actually cheap, right?
Yeah, right.